Hello, and welcome to this video tutorial from TrainSignal. The following clip is from TrainSignal's Access 2007 course, featuring over 18 hours of Access database training. Welcome back. In earlier videos, we built some fairly basic queries that selected records from one or more tables based on some criteria or parameter. Now we're going to get into some of the fun stuff, creating something from nothing through the use of calculated fields, expressions, and functions. To start this video off, I'm going to give a brief introduction to calculating inside Access. Now, if you're one of those people who are comfortable in Excel but a little baffled by Access, this video is for you. Remember, in earlier videos when I mentioned that knowing Excel really well is a bit of a hindrance when it comes to learning certain things in Access? Well, it couldn't be more true with calculations. This introduction is designed to be a bit of a boot camp into calculating inside Access. Next, I'll take you inside Access and show you how to create a calculated detail field inside our orders query that will calculate subtotals for each ordered item per order. I'll also show you how to create a query that will calculate a 5% increase in our book prices. After that, we'll talk a little bit more about calculating another way, totaling up and down or calculating groups of records. And then we'll jump into Access and create a query that calculates our orders' grand totals. Next, I'll give you an introduction to some of Access's built-in functions. And unfortunately, we don't have enough time to go through all of them as they are quite a few, but we'll focus in on some of the more popular ones, the dateDiff function, some of the format functions, and the if function. And last, we'll have some fun with concatenation, pulling some text strings and some calculated fields together. Now, even though Access is not Excel, I've noticed that for Excel users who are new to Access, the best way to explain calculations in Access is to refer back to Excel, oddly enough. In Excel, if you want to calculate between two values in a spreadsheet, you write an expression referencing the two cells you want calculated. So, looking at the example I have over here, I have a number typed into cell A3 and another number typed into cell B3. If I want to add those two numbers together, in C3, the one right next to it or adjacent to it, I'll write an expression that tells Excel to take whatever number is in A3 plus whatever number lives in cell B3. That way, if I change the values in either cells, A3 or B3, the result in C3 will automatically update, thus saving you a lot of time. Now, in theory, it works the same way in Access. You're going to be telling Access, hey, take the number that's in this field and add or multiply that with what's in this field. Then display that value in this brand new field I've created for the occasion inside this query. The difference lies in how you write your expression. Access doesn't know what the heck B3 is. Access stores and locates information by the combination of the names of objects with the names of fields. This is why I said names were so important earlier, because of how Access finds or locates data. Your expressions, or at least how you write them, will get a bit more complicated, or at least a bit more lengthy this way. Now, queries are not just limited to pulling information out of tables like I was showing you earlier with your basic select query. When you create a calculated field, you are telling Access to calculate across per record. So in the example I have right here, I've created a new calculated field in the design view of that QBE grid. Calculated field, colon, everything that appears before the colon, that's going to be the name of the field that you are creating. Now in brackets, the QTY, that's referring to a field that already exists inside this query, the quantity field that comes from TBL orders details. Now retail price in brackets is also referring to another field that exists in this query, which is being pulled from table TBL books. And the picture down below is showing you the datasheet view of those results. You can see the first record, whatever order that might be, they've ordered 10. Retail price of that item is $54.99, and Access is taking those two numbers, multiplying them together for the result of $549.90. And it continues that pattern all the way down that data sheet. That is what your calculated detail field does, calculates across per record. Now let's go ahead and create that for our orders query. Steps for creating a calculated field in Access. First, you build a select query as you normally would. Then inside that QBE grid, click inside one of those blank fields and type the following. Whatever you want to call your brand new field name, followed by a colon. Colon is very important. And then you can write a reference either to a field that exists inside that query or to a field that exists in any table. If you're referring to a specific table, begin in brackets with that table name, followed by an exclamation point, followed by, in brackets, the name of the field. Then whatever mathematical operator you would like. In this case, it's going to be that multiplication symbol, that asterisk, followed by the name of the second object. Begin with the table name, exclamation point, in brackets, the name of the field. After that, all you've got to do is run the query. Now we're going to be practicing this in the exercise file called Picaroon Publishing Calculations _start, which is located in this lessons folder. And I have mine open down here. This database is identical to database files that we've been working with earlier. In fact, all of our tables are exactly the same ones that we built from earlier videos, and the queries that are here are the exact same basic select queries we created in the first queries video. We're going to start off this one by modifying QRY orders by book. Go ahead, open up that query. And just to refresh your memory about what's inside this query, there is company name, contact first name, contact last name, as well as the transaction date for that particular order, what they've ordered or that book, followed by the quantity that they purchased, and the retail price of that particular book. Now what we are going to be doing is creating another field off to the right that takes information in the quantity field and multiplies that by the information in the retail price field. And to do that, go back into Design View and scroll all the way over to one of the blank fields. In fact, I'm just going to make mine a little bit wider because we're going to be writing a very long expression in the slot. To create a calculated field, the very first thing you type out is the name of whatever you want to call this brand new field. And I'm just going to call mine subtotal, followed by a colon. A colon tells Access that you're starting your expression. Everything prior to that colon is the name of the field. After that colon, you want to begin by referencing the first field that you want calculated. And since we're pulling information from a table, we begin with the table name. So let's type that first square bracket, followed by the location of where our quantity field lives. Now, if you notice, we have kind of a little cheat sheet off because we have that field included here. Quantity lives inside TBL, orders details. So go ahead, type that out, TBL, orders details, followed by an end bracket. And now we're going to be referencing something that lives inside that table. Now to tell Access that we're moving down a level, referencing something that lives inside what we just typed out, we need to type an exclamation point. That tells Access to move down a level. Then begin with another open bracket and the name of the field you want referenced. In this case, it's QTY, end bracket. After we have the full reference to where that is located inside Access written out, next we need to follow that with some kind of mathematical operator. And in this scenario, that's going to be our multiplication symbol, which is the asterisk. And then the full reference to the last field that we're multiplying by, which is going to begin with an open bracket, just as our first field did, and the name of the table. Retail price lives inside TBL books. And then close that bracket. And once again, we're referring to a field that is located inside TBL books, so we have to type that exclamation point, telling Access we're moving down a level. And then the name of the field inside brackets, which in this case is retail price, and close bracket. Once you have that full expression written out, go ahead, press enter. And last thing to do is to run the query. And when I click on that run button, that jumps me back into Datasheet view. And scrolling over, There's my brand new calculated field, taking information from the quantity field, multiplying across to the retail price, and displaying that result in the subtotal field I created. Thanks for watching. For more information about our full video courses, please visit our website at www.trainsignal.com.